Hey guys, Tush coming at you. Just a quick update. Still working on the valance, the front valance of the nose of the car. We've got it flipped over. Pretty much got most of the body work done on the top side of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 415 coating on the inside of this. It's a little rusty in spots. I've cleaned it up as best as I could. I did put the metal etch on it. So anyway, we're on to the next step, and we're going to give it a quick coat of, or a couple coats of 415 black. All right, that's it. Just want to give you a before and after shot. Talk to you later. Hey guys, just a quick update on the valance painting. It's now done, completed. I've got 2 coats of 415 on there, and it looks okay. I mean, there's some brush hairs in the paint from cheapo brushes. You can see the brush hair standing up, but nobody will ever see this. This is going to be out of view when it's on the front of the car. You can definitely see how much damage there was to this front valance. When you get the black on, you can see a lot of rippling, a lot of hammer marks, and a lot of damage. So, and some repair areas. Didn't bother to grind down the welds. Again, it's not going to be seen. This corner here was in pretty rough shape. You can see it, a lot of hammer marks, lots of ugly welds, some hammer marks there, some hammer marks here. So yeah, this front valance has definitely seen better days. Anyway, it looks better than it did, and what we'll do is we'll flip it over and we'll clean up some of the bleed through of the paint that managed to make it to the front side, even though I had it taped up. So what we'll do is we'll take an angle grinder, we'll grind wear off on the front side where it's not supposed to be, and we'll recoat it with Bondo if necessary. So that's where we're at. I just want to give you a quick update, and we'll talk to you later. Hey guys, Tush coming at you. Wednesday, July the 10th, I believe. Just started my holidays. Can't you tell? I was doing a little bit of traveling and just got back last night. I decided to get back out in the garage today, but there's not much I can do. Raining pretty hard. I want to get the TR3A outside, but the top's down. I don't feel like putting it up, so it's staying inside and wait for the rain to pass. It's supposed to be nicer tomorrow and Friday. Pretty hot here too. It's close to 90 in the garage, and actually it's only saying 82 on this one, 66% humidity. Feels warmer than that. That one's saying close to 90 and over 60% humidity. So I'm hoping this rain will drop the humidity down some, and then I want to really start getting into some painting and priming over the next couple days. Since I'm on vacation, I should be able to get some stuff done. Anyway, they're calling for large hail, so I hope that doesn't happen. And the wind's really starting to come up now, so anyway, we'll shut it off for now. Definitely not a John Kerry day, and I'll bring you back when there's something to report. I'll talk to you later. Pretty amazing the amount of water coming out of this guy's backyard. See that? It's like a little river coming out from beside the house. So a lot of rain in a short period of time. And it's giving up a little bit now, and you can see all the water sort of pooling over there in the corner. It really runs down the street into the court. Anyway, hopefully downtown Toronto is going to be okay. They've been having some flash floods over the last few days, I understand, and been pretty bad down there. Anyway, that's it. Afternoon, guys. Tush coming at you. Thursday, July the 11th. It's about 5 to 2 out in the garage. Nice and comfortable out here today. Temperature has gone pretty far down, actually. 75 degrees Fahrenheit, 60% humidity, which is a big changeover from what it has been for the past week. It's been, up in the 90s and high humidity, so, feeling like 100. So, quite a nice day to be out in the garage. I'm happy that we're finally getting a bit of a break in the weather. It's really prevented me from working on the car too much. It's been so hot in the garage, and plus I wanted to try to get some painting or priming done on the car, and it's just been too hot and too humid. So, anyway, little shop trip to the body shop store this morning, and we've got a few supplies to continue on with the project. So here's what I'm going to do, right or wrong, and I'll probably get a few people giving me some negative comments or thumbs down, but this is what I'm going to do on my project. Since it is my project, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the Featherfill G2. It's a polyester primer, and that's going to be my base coat. Well, actually, let me start at the beginning. So what I've got done so far, I've got etch primer followed by epoxy primer. In some cases, I've just got the nose of this car, for instance, is just in filler. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. I'm going to actually etch the bare metal that's left on this. I'm going to epoxy it, and if you saw one of my previous videos, I'd actually pour 50 in the inside of this, so that's already done, and that needs no further work. But the exterior of this, I'm going to, like I said, etch prime the metal, bare metal, epoxy prime it. Then I'm going to continue on with the polyester primer. We'll give that a couple coats of the polyester primer. And then we're going to block that down. We've got some guide coat. We're going to guide coat it and block it down to 220. And we're going to follow that up with some coats, so probably 2 or 3 coats of the Eurofill 2.1. It's an acrylic urethane primer surfacer, so we're going to finish with that, and then we'll block that down to probably 600, I would think, before paint. And I'm going to go with a base clear. I did buy some etch primer just for any of the small areas or the breakthroughs that I might have down to bare metal. I've just got a small touch-up spray can for that application. And then I just bought some paper and some 220 grit, just some sticky discs for my DA. So anyway, for anybody that's interested, I'll just give you a rundown of the cost, because I'm always interested in the cost, and the differences in cost even between the couple stores that I shop at is pretty astronomical in some cases. I find my local Napa to be quite expensive, but in some cases I have to go there because it's the only place I can find the product. Anyway, the Eurofill was 85 bucks, and talking to Rick, the Rick Fix, or Rick the Fix, or whatever you want to call him, sounds like that's a pretty good price for the Eurofill. So I've got that and the activator. That was 85 bucks. I bought the guide coat, which is an Evercoat guide coat. It's just a powdered spray, flat black. This was $12.90. The acid etch was fairly expensive, actually. It was $19.90. I could have gone cheaper. I could have got some etch primer, no-name etch primer for 10 bucks, but I thought I'd go with the U-Pol brand. Then I just got the roll of blue paper, which is going to help with some of the masking jobs. I've got some small masking jobs to do temporarily. That was 13 bucks for that roll. And then I bought a few mixing cups, which were about a buck each. So grand total with tax on that was $152.32. So that was from one store. Now that store, my Marzan Auto Body Supplies, which I quite like, although they let me down today a little bit, they didn't have my sandpaper from my Durablocks, so I was a little disappointed with that. And they didn't actually have Featherfill there. They actually only had slick sand, and I was going to have a problem with the slick sand because according to the tech sheet and according to some of the other guys, I've watched some of James Freddy's videos, and I think I was going to have an issue getting the slick sand out of my gun. I only have a 1.8 tip on my my primer gun, and the slick sand looks like it needs about a 2.0 to 2.2 tip to be able to get that out, and it's pretty thick. So the Featherfill, according to the tech sheet, only needs a 1.7 to 2.0 tip. So I thought I'd go with the Featherfill. It's obviously probably a little bit lighter build than what the slick sand is, but it's supposed to be still pretty good. So anyway, I ended up buying that from Napa. So Napa, I got the painter's price, which was kind of nice of them. It was regularly $92.66, and the painter's price for that was $79.19. I did buy just the 25 sheets of sandpaper. That was $8.95, and I bought some shop towels as well, which were probably the most expensive. They were $4.29 for the shop towels. I think they're normally at my local store, I think they're about $2 a roll, so they're like double the price at Napa. This, I'm not sure what the normal price for this Featherfill would be, but I can tell you that the slick sand down at my auto body supply store was only $65 a gallon. So I'm not sure if that Featherfill would be comparable in price, but anyway, I got dinged for 79 bucks at Napa for that. So anyway, so that's it. Those are the products I'm going to use for the next stage of the project. Like I said, I'm going to try to take advantage of the weather, which is pretty, perfect for painting at the moment. So I think what I'll do is I've procrastinated long enough on the nose of this car, so I think we'll work on this today, at least get this into some primer, into that feather fill anyway. So we'll finish sanding it down. We'll get the etch primer out, we'll put some etch on it, we'll get the epoxy out, we'll put some epoxy on it, and we'll top that with the feather fill. Alright, that's the plan. Talk to you in a bit. And one more thing I forgot. I don't know if I'd taken a video of these or not, but I bought these yesterday. I may have taken a video, but I've forgotten. So I figure these will come in handy during painting. I've wanted them for a while, so I picked these up at my local Princess Auto. You know, just the X frames with the chains. These are, I think, 350 pound capacity, so they're more than enough for what I need. You could get, I think, 500 pound capacity ones, but these should work out fine. Anyway, those were 40 bucks a piece, so spent some money yesterday as well. So I'll be putting those to use today. Talk to you later. Okay guys, we're in painting mode, or primering mode. So I'm working on the valance and the doors first. And I had some bare metal, so what I've done is I've hit it with some self-etching primer over the bare metal spots, just to make sure that they're covered. That's the first coat. Got to wait for 10 minutes for this to flash, and then I'm going to hit it again. And then we're going to move on to the next step, which is to do the epoxy, recoat this, or coat this with epoxy, and recoat the doors with epoxy. So what I'm using for this stage is the MP550. It's the self-etching primer from Matrix. It's the rose-colored or buff-colored. Don't know if you can see that. There you go, MP550. And it mixes 1 to 1. And we're just using my minigun to spray that with a 1.0 tip. And it seems to be coming out okay. Anyway, we'll get back to it. Next step. Hey guys, okay, next step is the epoxy primer, and I've got epoxy primer in white. I'm using the Matrix MP450. I've got the activator for it, and I've got a little bit of reducer. It's a cool temp reducer. It's about 70 degrees in the garage at the moment, so that should be okay. It's just probably right on the borderline, but that's what I've got, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm only doing panels anyway, so generally I can probably get away with that, I think. So we're going to mix up a batch of epoxy according to the tech sheet. I've got to let this sit for 30 minutes to induct, or induction period of 30 minutes, mandatory before spraying, it says. So this is mixed 4 parts epoxy to 1 part of the activator and a half part of the reducer. So we're going to get that mixed up, we'll let it sit, and then we should be ready to spray. We're basically just waiting for this to flash off. The self-etch requires 30 to 60 minutes before recoating, so that's what we're going to wait for. And should work out perfectly when we wait for our epoxy to work. We'll come over and we'll give these a quick spray. Alright, see you in a bit. Something new a shot. This valance, the underneath has been coated with Port 15. I think I did a video on it, and it'll probably be ahead of this video, or part of this video, but you'll have already seen it, as I did the black on the gloss black on the inside of this valance probably about a week and a half ago, just before I sort of took off to travel for work a little bit. Anyway, what I've done here is I've applied a Pore 15 etching primer, self-etching primer. Here it is here. So you're supposed to be able to top coat this with any top coat that you desire. So what I've done is I basically sanded this down with 220 grit. I've applied the self-etching primer. Hopefully it'll stick to the Pore 15. And then I'm going to apply a coat of epoxy over top of that. And then we'll continue on with the process after that. But I'm hoping that the epoxy actually sticks to this self-etching primer. Otherwise we're going to be in for a bit of a nightmare. But anyway, we thought we'd give it a shot. And we're just about ready to go. A couple more minutes for the epoxy to activate, and we're ready to spray. Gun set up, and probably about 5 more minutes, and we're going to give her a shot. Anyway, talk to you in a bit. Hey guys, quick update. Okay, the epoxy's on. Got 1 coat of epoxy on, and it's not bad. I'm still having a little bit trouble spraying. This actual panel is not bad. I got a little bit of a run down in the corner, and it's a little light here on the epoxy, but overall it's not too bad. Although I started on the doors and I'm still getting that sort of graininess. So what I did is I reduced the fan pattern. I think I was trying to, fan that epoxy out too much, and I started getting that sort of orange peely, you know, grainy type look to it. So anyway, I closed the fan pattern down and had the material knob all the way out, and it seemed to be a little bit better that way. So I guess we're learning as we go. Anyway, doesn't look too bad. Up here, ran out over there, of course, that little section I just didn't have enough epoxy mixed up, so we'll have to come back and get that. But other than that, not too bad. So I think what I'm going to do is fix that one area up, and then we're going to let this dry for an hour. Apparently we can recoat this after an hour if it's only one coat. So this is only one coat. So what we'll do is we'll come back and we will spray this with that polyester primer and see what that looks like, the high build primer, and see if I can get that out of the gun. Anyway, that's it for now. We'll come back later. Okay guys, we're on the next step. We're just about to go with the Feather Fill G2. I'm mixing 16 ounces at a time, so half a quart, and I've got to put a half of this liquid hardener in, which is graduated here. So I've got to put in 11 cc's of this hardener into that cup. So I'm going to do it one at a time. You're not supposed to leave this in your gun for more than 20 minutes or it's set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray 3 coats, but I'm going to clean my gun in between each coat, and I'm going to remix between each coat. So should be a fun process. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. We'll talk to you in a bit. Hey guys, Touch coming back at you. It's about 25 after 9, and we've got 3 coats of the polyester primer on, and I'm actually really surprised at how well it sprayed out of the gun. Really happy. So sprayed better than the epoxy primer for sure. Looking pretty good. So I've just got the doors, the top of the doors, and the valance and the polyester primer. I got dragonflies in the garage. Of course, I've never seen a dragonfly up here in like 7 years, but of course now that I've painted, they're probably going to land on something. Anyway, so that's it for tonight. I'll upload this and we'll get back at it tomorrow. And I'm going to flip this one over and do the underside. We'll see if that epoxy will stick to that pour 15. We'll flip the doors over, and I think we'll probably work on the trunk. Alright, talk to you later. Just thinking of one thing actually before I go, and just sitting out in the garage here taking a break. There's actually no need for me to do the inside with, or the underside with polyester primer. I'll just hit it with the urethane primer later on. I don't need to do any sanding really on the interior of the panel. So it doesn't make sense to waste this product on the inside of either this panel or the inside of the doors, since the doors will be all covered with paneling. So anyway, so just that thought just came to me while I'm just sort of standing out here. So anyway, that's it for tonight. Talk to you later.